Okay, it looks like that worked. It's recording. We're live. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna share this on Twitter to get all 2 of my followers. All right. So let's get started. So let's see. I need to. I think my plugin directory is pretty dirty right now because I was messing around with it. I think the easiest thing is going to be for me to delete it and just reinstall the plugin.
You just use a local path too, right?
The what?
When you're developing, you just use a local path in the plug there.
No, maybe you can walk me through the best way to do that because I've just been going into the local, my dot local share this right here, and just modifying it directly in there.
No. Just clone it. Do you have my thing cloned down? Just clone Tinkerwell down to whatever code folder, right? And then you just reference that path rather than the plugin. And then I think it actually just symlinks it under the hood. And then this is nice, right? Because you're working in the repo and you can commit and PR and all that.
Oh, so yeah, let's see. So I think I have
I merged your thing too, so you don't have to worry about whatever you had. But
okay, so I cloned your repo down. It's here in vim-tinkeray. Now, how do I symlink?
So yeah, so just grab that pwd pb copy or whatever, right? Grab that folder, yeah, and then throw it into your plugins file. That path.
Oh, really? That works?
Yeah, Vim plug does it. Super easy. So yeah, right there, just
like this.
Yep, and then in the quotes, just put the path. Yep.
I did not know you could.
And then I can't remember if you need to plug install. I always just plug install. I'm not sure if you actually need to or not, but
does plug install read the file? Because I always have to exit Vim and go back in. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know if you need to plug install for the similar thing.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so yeah, now if you, let's just say for an example, if you throw in,
it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran Tinkerwell open and it worked. So.
Yeah, perfect. That's good enough. Yeah.
Now, that created this Tinkerwell here. Was that there before? No. Okay, it wasn't part of the repo. I was just making sure that that's I can remove that.
No, yeah, you can remove that. I feel like I thought I handled that. I'll figure that out later though. That happened to me earlier today, and I'm like, what? I thought I handled that. Where
that happened. So, wait. First of all, is my text big enough, or should I bump it up?
Oh, I can see. It's
okay,
good for me.
Yeah. Actually, just gonna bump it up for the YouTube viewers, just in case. I always appreciate people bumping up their font sizes. When I was doing this, when I was going into the tinkeray.php in the bin file,
Yep.
it was doing that.
Yeah, actually, I'm just realizing what's happening. I think, okay, so if you look in the repo, like look in your files again, are you using like Fern or Nerdtree or something?
I'm using Fern.
Yeah, okay, so see that XRC file there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, open that. And that it disables the auto commands for this repo, but you have to set XRC in your Vim settings. So if you go into like do you have a sanity file, or remember I had that sanity.vim? I don't know what you call yours.
Sanity.
Yeah. So just throw like somewhere in here, set XRC. I think is all you have to put. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Is it XRC or EXRC?
Yeah, EXRC, yeah. I'm just going to check mine because I forget. Yes, that XRC, that's all you need to do. So you should be able to open that now, I would think.
Let me just double check. So it's this SET. Oh, but set EXRC. Got it. I was wondering why that was doing that.
There you go.
There we go.
So that XRC, have you ever used XRC?
No.
It's really cool. I actually use it quite a bit with Statamic and stuff too, where anytime you have a project where you might want to have like a custom Vim setting, but just for that project, you put any Vim config ever, like anything, any overrides. Like any, you might, I have a couple of projects where I have an auto command where if I save certain files, it'll like automatically like build something under the hood.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's not like it'll be specific to that project, right? And so your project can have an XRC, and if you don't want to push that up, it can get ignored. But you basically have all this local workflow in an XRC
That's really
with like
cool.
auto or settings or whatever. It's pretty neat. Yeah. So anyway,
so where were we getting to? Oh yeah. So we cleaned up the file. So it's getting sourced now in my Vim, so we can start messing with what we're going to mess with. So there was two things in particular. I think the Laravel sail one might be a little bit more involved, I think. But we also wanted to get the echo working. So what I did here is I created I think it's just like Laravel, new Laravel directory with Tinker in here. And if I remember, so I'm going to rename ray.php to ray.back because that will that'll show up later. That ray.php is something that helps us run Ray with Docker. But first, I want to get it running locally without Docker and make sure it's working, and then we can jump into the rest of the stuff. Okay. So in order for us to get it working, we're going to run vim run tinkeray open. So I have this in here right now, and I'm going to need to bring up Ray as well. I'm going to change it back to light mode. That brightness blows you away.
Sunglasses.
Yeah. Just so we can see the difference.
Yeah.
All right, so I think right now if I were to hit save, so that's working.
But yours is slower because I guess the async thing we talked about, right?
Well, no, this is not going through Docker just yet. This is just running straight PHP Artisan Tinker directly in the app, and so it's pretty quick with that. Does this echo?
No, you'll get an all. Yeah. So I think what's happening there is that it's trying to, like, it's appending return to the echo, right? And so that's why I was saying maybe we need to replace the echo with a return.
It's actually not appending the return.
Oh, really?
Because if we were to open up, actually, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to bring up the directory that we just cloned down.
That switch case, like I'm still trying to grapple my mind around this switch case that you have there with the parsing stuff, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So let's look at what that's doing here. Oh yeah. So this here, it's enforce return gets past the AST, which is just like an array of nodes that if you were to traverse the entire node list, it's like running the script, right?
Right.
So this AST that gets passed into enforce return has already removed all like extraneous comments. So it's only executable code, lines of code. And the idea is if there is a return, just go ahead and return it.
Right.
But if there isn't, get the last node and wrap it in a return. So here we're getting the last statement. You added this, right? If there is no last statement, go ahead and throw the exception. And then we have this switch statement here that gets the type of that statement. So this get type is given to us by that the PHP parser. And it returns these string statements.
Yeah, okay. I see why you're saying the echo shouldn't, because both the echo and the return should be doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. However, I mean, I think I tried this.
Yeah, I tried that earlier too today. I mean, I was just like, I spent like 3 minutes with it, but
I don't think that works either. Does this?
No, because I think then that would. I actually don't know for sure. I was just assuming it was going to return echo, like rather than replacing the echo. It would just,
exactly. Yeah. It would be like return like this, right? Return echo. How does
so like I think you'd have to have a different case for it, right? It'd have to have its own case, and then in the switch, and then I was just wondering if it's possible to now that it knows that it's an echo, to be able to remove the echo and swap it with a return. That's what I was wondering.
We will try that in a second. I just want to see what Tinkerwell does.
Tinkerwell actually like allows any echoes through. It's kind of weird.
Oh, really? Like any echo will get sent to the whatever STD out?
Yeah, and I figured that could be like a next step. Like I'm not so worried about that now. I'm more worried about the final echo. But I don't know what you think, but basically you can have like a final return or a final echo or a final statement, and then you can throw in like 5 echoes above it and it will echo all those. But the output's not super pretty either though, because the output of the echoes, like it doesn't throw new lines between them, for example.
Yeah, so it does this.
Yeah. So like I don't know how useful that is. You know what I mean? That's why I'm more concerned about just the final echo.
Yeah, likewise. So all right, so let's see.
I'm kind of more of the mind that because this is Ray, if I wanted to Ray multiple things in this file, like let's say I've got that final statement, but if there's other things that I wanted to Ray, I would just call Ray. I would just call the function. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can draw on your screen. Does this work?
Yeah, it does.
So like if I had my final statement here and I wanted to I had steps here that I wanted to dump, I would just have Ray function calls, right?
Right.
But
exactly.
Rather than echo, like I'm using Ray. Maybe I even want to Ray and make it like purple. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or like Ray, or I might want to like start measure and stop measure and whatnot. So like there's so many cool things you can do with Ray that you can't do with Echo. So that's why I'm saying I'm not too concerned about supporting echoes everywhere. It's for me, it's just more when you throw an echo at the bottom, it should still work. That's all.
Yeah. So what happens if we do something like this? I know I can't read the whole line yet, but so if it's an expression, we're going to return the last statement's expression. However, if it's an echo, we need to return, but this needs to be an expression. This needs to be an expression.
Actually, what is that expression? I never even.
Sorry.
This is about as far as I went with it.
So look, this line right here, Ray last statement. I dumped it out to Ray. So this is what it looks like. This is an echo class, and inside it has multiple expressions.
Okay. So there's still object.
Say that again.
So yeah, there's still objects. It's not like it's the raw.
Right. So okay. So let's walk through it real quick, and I can explain what is actually happening. So these objects are just essentially stacked in an array, and that's this AST, right? That's just like the stack of objects that can eventually get parsed out to a PHP file. And what we're doing here is we are manipulating it in the form of its array as an AST. It's not parsed, or it's not printed out as PHP code yet. So that's what this enforce return does. The enforce return takes the AST and it returns the same AST, but with the last statement changed if it needs to be. So this is doing all of the heavy lifting for that final return, where I didn't want to do this, where I just wanted it to work like this.
That's interesting, actually. So you're actually like appending a new one. So it's almost like you're duplicating the last statement.
Exactly. So we're taking that last statement, which in this case, the last statement is just a variable.
Oh, but you popped it. Okay. So that's
right.
You're not duplicating it. You're just putting it back on. Okay,
right. So here the AST is the full stack, and popping it removes the last object from the stack. So AST is now, it's missing the last statement, but last statement is here in this variable. And now we're going to say, okay, do we need to manipulate this? If it's only an expression, then yes, we need to manipulate it. Otherwise, we had it here. Otherwise, if it's an echo or if it's a return, just go ahead and pop the last statement back, append the last statement back onto that stack.
So okay. So you should actually be able to, if it's an echo. Oh, yeah. So I guess I'm confused why this won't work for an echo then, because you're getting the expression out of the echo, which I'm assuming is this. Right?
Right. So I think the issue might be like return echo something.
Oh, I guess maybe this echo is part of the expression.
Wait, what happened? Echo, like if we do this, that's a valid echo statement, right? Well, for some reason it's looking weird to me.
Yeah.
That's a valid echo statement. But returning it, that's so weird. You can't return. And I bet it has something to do with like standard in, standard out, like the IO of the script.
Right.
And somewhere along the lines. All I know is that I tried to do this same thing with Echo, and it just didn't work. But then as we move further down into the script, then we where is it? Evaluate. Yeah, so evaluate the Tinker file. So here we go through these like, it's almost like a decorator function type thing where, or functional programming. We generate the AST, then pass it into the remove comment lines. We remove the comment lines, pass that into the enforce return, which is that function that we just stepped through. So now we have an AST with the proper final statement that's being returned. And then here we're using this pretty printer that we pass the AST into. And if we dump this execution code, like if we see this.
Oh, you can actually look at the code.
Exactly. It's just the code in string form.
Okay, so with your switch case, throw an echo at the end there again, and let's see what the final code looks like. Or like, I mean, over here, if you throw an echo in here.
I'm just saying, why is it not? It's not dumping it, right? Am I missing that? Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Like, oh, you see, you wanted the echo.
Yeah. Oh, it's not appending a return. Oh, okay,
yeah, because of this.
What if you move this case up now? That's what we were wondering, right? We were making an assumption there, but.
Yeah, see, it just returns. Oh, but that might be why. Because this is what I was saying. Echoes are different from regular expressions where echoes can have multiple expressions within them.
Okay.
The expression node is just one node, one subnode. The echo has multiple subnodes. So what I was thinking, this might work. Return. Let's see. That's the last statement.
By the way, do you have the Tinkerway mapping for run? Do you have that one set up?
I do. Yes. What is it?
I think it's literally just Tinkerway run. Yeah. Okay. So now with that, you can actually, if you wanted, you can maximize your other split and just keep running that run command.
Oh.
It's kind of like a test last or whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, why did it say cannot find that? Did you see that?
Yeah. Is it because these are two different Vim sessions? This is a tmux split.
Oh, okay. That's why. I got you. I thought that was a Vim split. Okay.
What was I getting at? Oh yeah. So like if we were to array. So you see here, echo has expressions with an S. I wonder if we can do return last statement expressions like that. Oh, hey, that worked.
Grabbing the first one.
Yeah, it's grabbing the first expression.
But what could be a multiple expression though? Like if you have like a
this.
What if you concatenate a string? Like what if you don't use brackets? Can you do that in PHP?
I thought you could.
So if you concatenate with a dot, like instead of a comma. Like right there, put a dot there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that give us two expressions?
No.
Huh. What if you do change this to an integer and then make this like a plus or something? All right. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so you oh, okay. It is the function then. Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't either until I was looking through these AST nodes, and I was like, oh, this has more than one expression. But like most of the time, we're just going to be like echoing out like a particular variable, and you can see here it works. There it is, return A. That's cool.
Uh, okay, so actually equals one. What if you make, I'm curious about this. What if you make A equals collection? So yeah, it's funny because this is where it's a little deceiving, right? I don't know what the best, I guess we could see what Tinkerwell does here because um, it's like an echo in PHP would be like casting to a string.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this isn't casting it to a string. We're echoing, like the object itself is being shown. So I'm just curious what Tinkerwell does. So yeah, is that even a string or is that actually like
It's an array.
an array? Huh.
What's up, Michael? I didn't post it in our Discord group.
That's good.
Oh, you did. All right, so I mean,
You know what though? Like I semantically, I don't know if I care. You know, like if you
Yeah.
echo out a collection, like we want to inspect the thing that you like. Do we really want to cast it? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
this is less about the syntax being correct because it's we're not going to be parsing this
You're
code
dumping.
in production. It's literally
And,
just like a little dumper.
yeah. And honestly, like I wouldn't even document this or show people this. It's more just like I just didn't want this to break, right?
Right.
Um, Essentially, like what you've done by removing the need for a return is so much nicer, right? Why even echo? But the only
Right.
reason why I wanted that there was because if you can echo in Tinkerwell, maybe someone would try it here, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of where I was getting at is like, obviously Marcel did a fantastic job building out Tinkerwell, and that
Mhm.
user experience, the developer experience in Tinkerwell is what I was trying to get in here. And so I was bothered by by the returns, and you can see I went through a lot of trouble just to get that out of
But
there.
you know, it's funny because like yeah, our chat the other night was funny, right? Because I was like, Jose, you're wasting your time because I spent a few hours on it and I was going into that PHP tokenizer class, right? Like what is
Yeah,
it? PHP
yeah.
colon token. And it doesn't output these like nested nodes and expressions. It outputs like it's almost like it's parsing out like a highlighter, like a tree sitter in like Vim. Actually, tree sitter is even more complex than that. It's like literally just giving you an array of like, oh, here's where the bracket starts, and
Yeah,
here's where
yeah.
the semicolons. And it's like to hell with that. You're gonna be fighting with edge cases for quite a while, right?
I would have never done it if we didn't have this PHP parser already built in.
Yeah. And
Like
then
the
and as soon as you told me, you know what, like this isn't going away. This is like Tinker uses this. Like, oh, I mean,
yeah.
dang, like this is a Tinker extension, or this isn't a Tinker
It's
plugin,
SciShell.
right?
It's SciShell, and so Tinker is just a wrapper around SciShell, and
Right.
that is SciShell uses this. I don't know what it
Yeah.
uses it for. I just know that it requires it. So
Yeah. So you had me skeptical because I'm like, if there's going to be like a large if statement with a whole bunch of edge cases trying to handle all the different data types, but then once I saw what you had, I'm like this is simple. This is really not that bad at all.
yeah, and it's funny because
Like,
this yeah. This is I can't even tell you how many hours I spent just to get these like 5 8 lines of code. I I racked my brain through this stuff because this PHP parser stuff. There's documentation, but it's not super well documented, right? It's not Laravel documentation.
well, not just that. How often do we need to parse PHP as a
Exactly. We like never do this, but I was determined to learn something new and dig in deep. And at one point, I had Like I had your vim-tinkeray up. I had the PHP parser up. I had SciShell up. All these different repositories, just like digging through the source code and all of them to figure out exactly how I was going to do this, and finally figured it out here. So I was pretty happy.
No, this is clean. I really like it. Yeah. And actually, you saw what I did with the, like, literally that exception is just that it can throw like a nice orange error. That's all. Or not even error, like an orange like output. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw that you were doing things like this. I didn't know Ray had this exception method in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sweet. That's a lot cleaner than what I was doing.
Yeah, Ray. I don't know. The cool thing about this too, like Tinkerwell has a bunch of features that this doesn't have, right? Like Marcel's got a bunch of cool stuff in Tinkerwell, but then also Ray has a bunch of stuff that Tinkerwell doesn't. Like maybe I'm assuming, but like it has a bunch of profiling things, and there's a lot of Ray methods that you can call on Ray. Right.
That's
so
sweet. Yeah.
If in this, like, I know we're just like dumping like in your canvas file there. I know you're just dumping like simple variables and collections right now, but like there's no reason why they can't call Ray and start measure and stop measure and profile right from this plugin, right from Tinkerwell. Like maybe you want to run a few queries and profile those queries. You can use Ray to profile them, right? So
that's, yeah. I mean, I really enjoy it. I like having Ray. I'm still, like I said, I'm a big Xdebug fan, and especially with Sail making it so easy.
Yeah.
But still,
my big beef about Xdebug is more just it's not even Xdebug. Like if I open up VS Code, it's more manageable. I literally have VS Code installed for Xdebug. It's the vdebug plugin, like the Vim Xdebug wrapper, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you don't use it like one every week or two, it's like I'm like constantly going back to the docs trying to figure out what all the keys are to like step in and step out and all this stuff, and I just get so
it might have changed lately. I haven't been able to get it to run as cleanly as I have in the past.
Have you worked with because I'm assuming you're doing like TypeScript and all this other stuff now? I don't know.
I work in JavaScript. Actually, the TypeScript stuff on the Web3 side, yeah, for sure.
So like whatever you're working with, I don't know, but have you worked with the DAP, like what's it called, like a debug adapter protocol at all?
Debug adapter No, I have not.
It's kind of like, from what I understand, it's sort of like LSP. Like, you know how LSP kind of caught fire in the VS Code community, and now it's everywhere, right?
Right.
Ever PHP. Like John Coaster for Statamic, he's built out like a Antlers LSP and everything, and that it's a pain because people are asking him, "Are you going to bring that to PHP Storm?" And he's like, "I can't because they don't allow like third-party language servers." So whereas in any other editor, you can pretty well install any language server, right? Mm-hmm. But this DAP thing, like debug adapter protocol, it's this, I don't even fully understand it, but just watching someone use it, like you can in Vim. So like if there's like an nvim DAP client that you can install. I haven't played with it yet, but somehow you're like running the code, and as you're going down the code, you can like basically over top of this function or over top of this variable, you can like hit a hotkey, and then pops up a pop-up with like, it's almost like Xdebug. It shows you like the state at that line, what's stored in that variable, for example. It's like very Xdebug like, but it's Xdebug is like a thing it's all standalone, right? Like there is no protocol. Like he just did it, right? It's pretty awesome. But this debug adapter protocol thing is like multi-language. Like it's not just PHP. Like cool. It's a protocol that's being used for these debug plugins that you can essentially, it's sort of like language servers, right? Like you get familiarize yourself with the interface and
with the API
once. Yeah, the API once. Mm-hmm. Like if you know how to use a DAP client in PHP in Vim, then you'll know how to use it in JavaScript. You just got to install the right DAP client.
That's cool.
What I mean? Or DAP server. I don't know what you'd call it.
I was trying to get like, have you ever used like Jupyter notebooks for like Python?
I used to work with a guy that he was kind of more on the data science team, and I wasn't. So I'd roll my chair over to his desk and watch him in Jupyter all the time. But no,
it's pretty freaking awesome. Like you have like these separators of your code, and you have like a little play button, and it'll only run like that section of your code, and then it'll like, you know, the code will be like paused, and you can see what all your variables are, and you know, you can do the same. You can then modify the code below it, you know, do the same thing, hit run. So it's a nice way like to almost like Xdebug without needing to have the whole setup. But
right.
There is a PHP driver for a Jupyter notebook, but I haven't messed around with it enough to say whether or not it's any good. But I still just really enjoy having a tool like Ray.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, and Xdebug's pretty cool, but for the quick and dirty stuff, like, it's pretty nice. Hey, Marcel's here. Hey, Marcel.
Yeah.
I swear we're not trying to rip off. I swear we're not trying to rip off Tinkerwell. We bought it. I have a license.
Buy Tinkerwell. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Tinkerwell. This is heavily inspired because we love it. So
all right. So we've got our echoes working now. So that's cool. The next thing I wanted to look into was getting this working with Sail.
Yeah.
So we can do that. I think Sail is already on here. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we have Sail running, so I can do something like Sail Artisan Tinker. And now this is running PHP Artisan Tinker from within the container. So it's not even using PHP that's installed on my local system. It's whatever is in whatever's in the container. And in fact, we should be able to.
So that's a question for you. So you know how you pasted me that code? You had like Docker Compose, right?
Right.
In part of your command. But do you need to run that? Like, can you just you're just running Sail Artisan Tinker. So what was the purpose of the Docker Compose?
So,
I mean, clearly I'm not it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, because there's like so many steps going through my head right now. There is lots of separation between running the command in Vim and actually doing what we want it to do in the Docker container. For example, like one step is Sail itself is just an alias to vendor bin Sail. So when we're running in the context of Vim doesn't know what Sail is. The shell that gets created in Vim doesn't know that Sail is alias to vendor bin Sail. So we have to add that first of all. This script, the Sail script, is a wrapper around Docker Compose.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And so then there was something was going on where, so it's when I run Sail Artisan Tinker, the expectation is that it's going to be a interactive terminal. So like I think it's something to do with TTY, and it works. But when you run that same exact command in through Vim, it locks up something and error it out. So I had to add in the command I added had like it was like Docker Compose something -T, and that was like the fix for it. So the reason I was using a Docker Compose command as opposed to like a Sail command is just because that's like lower level. It's like the lower level command. It was just me debugging.
Yeah, you're kind of bypassing Sail's wrapper.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So yeah, and I figured that's what you were doing. I just wasn't sure what you had run into. But so yeah, I'm thinking too, like I don't know how much we build in like support for sale straight up, unless because the thing is like when you do that Docker Compose thing, um, is it going to be the same on everyone's system, or could it be different depending on how their Docker is configured? Right?
Yeah,
Is
I
there
mean that's why that does need to be a variable. Like the command itself should be a variable.
maybe the best way is just to have that little like in the README a sales section, right? For Laravel style
Exactly.
users.
Yeah, just like an explanation of like, hey, if you're running this through sale, like here's some stuff. Even Ray has something like that.
Right.
If you go, the Ray has like a specific section for Docker.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to explain like, hey, if you're gonna be running this in Docker, have this ray.php file in your root, stuff like that.
Okay.
Make sure that it has this. It'd be the exact same idea. But
So did you have to do that as well then, having that ray.php file?
yes, yeah. So if you see, I have it here, rate up. I changed it to back so that we could do that. So right now, if I were to, let's say, what's a way for me to test that Ray's working correctly here?
Is there an environment variable you can output from Tinker to tell you that it's Docker?
So, okay, so here, we could just run Ray like this. Let's see if it works. Yeah, so it was able to send from within the sale artisan tinker, which is running inside of the container. It's able to send information back to my Ray server. So that's fine. The issue that we were hitting, or that I was hitting with the refactor, because remember initially the logic that we wrote into vim-tinkeray, I had running in just a test command. The test command is within the umbrella of my application, and so that is available to the container, to the Docker container that I'm running. But now that we refactored it, I moved it over into my Vim plugin. Now it's located in my .local. Right, that's it. Now it's located in the plugins directory of my local Vim config, that tinkeray.php file, and that is not available for the container to read.
Right.
So let me walk through real quick what I did do. So if we go to the Tinkeray project.
But is it still like? Is there anything with Docker that stops it from accessing that file if it knows the path?
No. Like I could, we could mount that directory. Like,
you got to mount. Okay.
It has to be mounted at the point the container's created. So if we look at the Docker Compose file, here this Laravel.test is the container that's running my application. And we'll see down here volumes, right? So it's taking our present working directory, which is the Laravel clean directory, and it's mounting it to var www.html within the container. But it's only that present working directory that container has access to.
Right.
No other directory in my system, unless I say, hey, whatever, like user Jose .local share, like wherever my Vim plugin is actually saved on my system. If I mount that to something like, I don't know, opt tinkeray.php or something like that, or you kind of get the gist of what I'm getting at. Like I can mount that directory in there and then do a sail down, sail up, and when I run sail up, now that that container has this in opt. It's like a symlink, right, from my computer to opt. So that's, I mean, we could do something like that. It just feels kind of hacky. Like it doesn't feel like a very clean solution.
Yeah.
What was another idea I had? So this was kind of the solution I was trying to test. Yeah, I ended up trying to test this, like copying tinkeray.php to the present working directory of wherever I'm running this command, and then running vendor bin sale execute, and then using this wrapper tinkeray.php. This didn't work very well.
And you're putting it in the working directory because sale already has, or doctor already has access to that.
Yes, exactly. Another.
I mean, so by the way, because this is Laravel, if we could get that to work, we could throw it in the storage directory, right? Because then it's already like get ignored or whatever.
Yeah, technically you could put it in the storage directory. Yep. But I had another idea, and let me throw this at you and see if it sparks anything. You can do something like PHP artisan tinker execute.
Where you run like the code right there. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered about this. Can you do that with sale too? If you sale artisan tinker?
Oh. Yeah. So that's what I was like. I'm like, okay, if we can get that entire AST and export it to a string,
Which you can,
and just pass that into this execute.
Like, maybe you just need to escape it, right?
Why do you need to escape it?
Well, just because of the quotes. That's all.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, so like, it's an option.
Yeah.
Because then, instead of running the PHP file from within the plugin directory of Vim, it's just generating the file that needs to be created and passing it into this execute command.
So and actually, and I'm not opposed to that either. That's interesting. But when you said that you were copying the file, I know copying the file in a sense feels hacky too. But like, if you think about, like, Laravel is constantly, like, if you use the default cache driver, file cache driver on a new app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's messing flat files with flat files all the time, right? So what were you running into when you were copying the file?
Let's see.
So rather than calling it wrapper tinkeray, I just, like, you can almost just, if you move it into storage, you could just call it tinkeray or whatever, right?
So let me copy this command here, and we'll just run it here. So we are. Oh man, that's a terrible place for this.
I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by both
options. So it's not here.
I guess I'm leaning towards the file thing, because then you're not, I mean, anytime you copy text into an argument or an option on the command line, you could be dealing with multiple issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe just edge cases we're not thinking of, versus if you copy the file and just use the file, then if we can get that to work, it'll just work. And if it's in storage, if we have like a storage tinkeray folder that's get ignored or whatever, right? Already, it's not like an extra step on the user to have to get ignore it. And it's just like having a file cache. It does nothing. It's just going to get overwritten every time you run this.
So we're copying it from that directory to storage tinkeray.php, and then we're running vendor bin sale
Oh, maybe I lied. Maybe storage is not getting ignored by default.
Well, let's see. So let's see what happens if we run this. Okay, so this was happening when I was running these commands directly with the -t. It would just lock it up.
What's the okay? Sorry, what's the -t?
So this right here, this like TTY thing. I have not been able to. Oh man, what the heck?
So that's the same problem you were talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
Okay, there we go. So same command. So we're copying that file into storage tinkeray.php. So now if we go to storage, there's tinkeray.php. Let's see, is it? Yeah, it's the right one. Oh, but then yeah. So now we need to modify the this. It's almost like it doesn't. It's almost like it's not there. Oh, okay, I was in the wrong directory. Nothing to output in tinkeray.php.
you ran?
Something ran. Okay, but it should be outputting a collection. So let's try this again.
Okay, let's open up Tinkeray.php, that wrapper. There's probably a pathing in there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It says line 65. Oh, but that would be, yeah, that would just be the error.
Yeah, like what? File get contents. Yeah, keep going down.
Let's remove comments.
Yeah, keep going past your stuff.
Forcing the return.
Right there. So that's okay. This app path, right? So Ray's clearly working right now. So if you were to above that line, like right here,
yeah,
Ray that app path, see what we're getting at this point, which I think this is probably what's killing us at this point. Well, yeah. We need to set that before we run it. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Um, go look at my auto load. I think it is.
Oh, you did like export.
Yeah. I think that's what you need to do. And for this, it's gonna be like probably what dot slash Tinkeray, right? Because, or no, yeah, dot slash, I guess, because we're leaving storage and going to the base path to find, right? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
But so we're running Tinker. We're running Tinker from the project root and
Right.
passing through storage slash tinkeray.php.
Um, well, like, okay, just remember that this file here, this whole file, is getting run from storage. And if you look at what it's evaluating right here, it's evaluating this variable slash Tinkerway. Well,
Yes.
this is the canvas, but the canvas isn't in storage. You know what I mean?
So, but
And
it's just
you
a
don't
path, right?
no, it's I'm appending it right here. You see that?
Oh, okay. So it's just back by dot
I
slash.
think I think that's all you need. Yeah, actually, you probably don't even need the slash. Just dot. Yeah. Womp womp. Um,
I want to see.
also,
Does it change?
this is false though. Sorry, how were you exporting that?
Oh, I just ran the export command directly. Hang on, I'll show you.
Were you doing this where I was?
Whoa, this is a little messed up here. So this is it right here. Export Tinkeray app path equals dot and then continue with the rest of the command.
Yeah, that looks right. Um, but we're exporting that to your local environment, not into Docker. Is that right?
The oh, so this,
Would need to be somewhere
yeah,
down after the exec or something.
yes, I think you're right. So let's try that. So we move this over to PHP artisan sail exec. So we're executing using the user sail Laravel test. Yeah, so we'll do that like right here. I don't know if this will work.
Export is not an executable. Interesting. Sail Laravel.test export and PHP artisan here.
Whoa, it's such a big command. It's having a hard time. Come on. What the heck? It's like I'm trying to exit Vim or something.
You know what I'd be okay with? You want to try something? Yeah, why isn't that working though? That should work.
What would you like to try?
Well, I was gonna say, what if in the tinkeray.php file, rather than like basically a fallback on that environment variable? So, oh, sorry, I'm leaving drawings on your screen.
I don't care.
So yeah, you have like oh, let me draw. You have like gosh, I hate Zoom sometimes. You have the env call, right? Or whatever that
Yeah,
function
yeah.
was. Tinkeray app path, right? Or we default to dot dot. I mean, that would bypass the issue of being able to export, right? So like if you threw like maybe just take that this whole line, this whole thing, throw it in a variable up here.
Outside of the try?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not in there. Yeah, I would probably put it there. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah. Or I guess here, actually, maybe call this app path. You can leave this here. Right? Because then we can just do the fallback on the app path. So right here, throw sorry, I don't mean to I'm backseat coding.
No, that's what pair programming is about, dude. I love having those things pop up. It gives me ways to move. All right, so app path is this. Otherwise, this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dot dot.
Yeah. So I guess like maybe we would just assume that if there is no environment variable, then the assumption is it's going to be in the storage folder. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see if that works. Is there anything I need to change in this command? Copy to.
I don't think so.
All right.
Like you have the file already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you copied it over, or you're copying it right now too. Yeah.
I think it's working. Something's. Oh man, this is the dash. It's the dash T command. No. I literally have to kill my window because it does not like that at all.
Is it random that it does it, or is it?
No, it's only when I use that dash T.
Yep. Oh, like every time when you use dash T. Gotcha.
Right. It's like I never want to use wrap until I want to use wrap. Yeah, this dash T right here. Okay, so we're copying this Tinkeray to storage Tinkeray, and then we are running vendor bin sale, PHP artisan, tinker, and then tinkeray.php.
Oh, interesting.
Storage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
False. Oh, it's a false. Okay, you got to use it's the operator there. Use the question. What do you call it? Ternary. The question mark colon instead of the null coalesce. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there's the path. That's correct.
Path is correct. But then we're trying to evaluate this. I mean, that should be just fine. It's just dot Tinkeray.
So now actually, why don't you in your array call there, if you file get contents on that, see what we get. Or maybe does file get contents not allow relative paths? Maybe that's what it is.
It's possible. It's false. this would be, let's just try this. var www html.
You can also use that like dir. Right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like here, just do.
Yeah. So that'll give you the current directory of this wrapper file.
Let's just see if that works.
I think you might need this slash before that, yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
so then it'd be dir.
Okay, so you'd put that dir right here then. Yeah. I feel like future us, like if we get this, if this ends up working fine, maybe we throw just a comment on this line, just saying fall back to assuming that they're that we're running from the storage directory or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
Okay, so that's app path. So that's essentially, that's the command we need to run. That's the command we need to run to get this working in Docker.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. I do want to test. Oh.
Just heading to bed.
All right.
Hi, Jose's wife. Bye, Jose's wife.
Yeah, she came in. So I wanted to hit a database.
You're just gonna do like a user query or something. Do a user query and output every user's credit card on stream and doc.
Exactly. Okay, so sale.
I'm minting the stream right now, by the way.
All right, so I just created 5 users. So now if we go into Tinkeray, let's say user first. And we run our mega command.
Is it just the importing?
Ooh, yeah.
Sorry, what did you just do?
No, I was just testing to make sure it's running correctly.
I hear it, but what, like it failed up here, right? What was that?
So this PHP network get address error usually happens. Oh, okay, that's what it is. Tinkeray, I think, tried to run locally. Probably because I saved. Yeah, because I saved.
Okay.
It's trying to run it locally.
Okay, because we haven't set up the dynamic command yet.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so this proves that it's Tinkeray is running and it's failing because we're using sail, but then down here.
Yeah, that was your prop. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
So now what we need to do.
So yeah, go to the autoload. You know that autoload.vim? Autoload, what is it? Tinkeray.vim. For anybody watching, for all one of our viewers, this is where we're porting Laravel to Vimscript. So yeah, copy. So copy one of these, right? We'll start with that.
This one up here.
Artisan Tinker. Oh yeah, I guess you would just be pasting your whole command into here, right?
Yeah. So really, what we need to do is I need to go to my. So I have this insanity. Um, essentially saying this is my tinker command. That beast of a command.
Which I mean,
and I'll have to change it once I actually install the plugin properly, because it's got to go to my .local wherever the directory is.
but see, and this tinker command is specific to the project. Is that
Exactly.
correct?
Yeah, and it is. Yeah, it's specific to this project.
So now that XRC thing I was telling you about is a Vim too. It's not just NeoVim, right? So maybe what we do is we suggest that you like set XRC. You copy this sort of a thing into your project's XRC, right? And then that way you can have a per project command for when you're running like Sail and Docker and things like that, right?
Yeah, really.
Because you wouldn't. Because what I'm saying is you wouldn't want this line in your dot files.
Correct.
Because it's because it's project specific.
Yeah.
So you throw it in an XRC file and it's just as good as being in your dot files, but it's only in this project.
So how about we do that now? So I'm in this project. EXRC, or is it a .exrc?
I think it's a dot. Let me just check. I always forget this.
All right, so I'm gonna comment it out of my sanity.
Also, you can do like a echo out of your XRC too, and then when you boot Vim, you should see it.
An echo.
Or sorry, no, I mean like in if you open up this file. And so yeah, just throw an echo on another line here.
Is it this? I don't know. I haven't done echoes before. It's just
like quotes high or something. I guess you probably do an intro too, yeah. But yeah, that's all you need. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
So you know your XRC is running, right?
Okay, so then now if I go into my Tinkeray file and hit save, it's not erroring.
Probably because there's a try catch. Although no, we should always see something, so it would catch the exception and throw it.
Right. Now, what was in my .exrc? Let's see if this requires the -t. Remember I was telling you that? PHP artisan to your storage. Right here. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like we still have something in Ray, or we have something getting sent to Ray from here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not too bad. I kind of wish I could. Part of me wishes we could handle the path using like an export in the command, but it's already so long for you. Like maybe if we just document that you have to put the thing in the storage folder, for example, right? Is there somewhere in storage that's get ignored? Hold on, I need to look at this.
I mean, most likely your logs.
Yeah, it's weird to put it in your logs though. App. Oh, app is getting ignored?
Is that good enough?
Possibly. Yeah, app storage/app is getting ignored. So is that bad practice? Is like I'm just trying to avoid having to like have the user add more things to their get ignore, right? Framework. The cache folder is get ignored, but it's not really a cache. It's not really part of the framework. It is sort of an app specific thing. Maybe we just do put it in storage/app.
Or I mean, we could put it in the rave. No, that's a mess.
Vendor folder. I thought of that too. I don't know. I feel better about storage app than vendor, even though they would both work.
Yeah.
I guess you totally could though. But
yeah, it just feels wrong for some reason. Even vendor bin seems okay.
Yeah, let's do storage app because I mean it's specific to your local app. Like when you deploy, it's not going to go up to it's get ignored. So if you throw it in that folder, it's not going to push up to GitHub or get deployed or anything, right? It's not going to be unstaged. So it's not like we're the user's going to have to think about that.
So it's going to be storage app. And then we're going to have to change the...
Can I see that for a second? Can I just see that that copy?
This?
Yeah, so copy Tinkeray to storage app Tinkeray. You know what? Okay, I have a good idea here. I think we should do this in steps though. Like we shouldn't have to worry about this quite yet.
I'll be the judge of whether it's a good idea.
Yeah, you tell me what you think. Yeah, I'm sounding cocky, aren't I? What if we take this thing here? Because there's nothing there that's we can't do in NeoVim, right? So imagine if you like open up the autoload file here.
I'm gonna open it up here.
Yeah. So, and let's just actually duplicate one of these. And let's call it run from storage, I guess. You know what I mean?
Run from storage, like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And just make sure that's, yeah, duplicated there.
And then what is the value going to be?
0. So you would have to explicitly enable it for when you're doing Docker and stuff. So basically this would be a step.
Oh, it's just a flag. Got it. Got it.
Just a flag. So then now in the, where are we right? I guess like right here, right? We could have another like if.
You're going to have to lead me here because I don't know the syntax.
Yeah, you're going to want to do like if g colon Tinkeray pound. That whole pound thing, I know it's kind of weird, but this is all part of like Vim's autoload syntax. That's how it finds the plugin within an autoload folder.
So if this do something, and then end if.
Yep. So yeah,
And
if it's run from storage, then we want to copy the file.
do we just
And
run something like this, silent?
I feel like there's a vim function for copying file too. Because you could do the exact thing, but then it's not necessarily going to work in Windows or something. So I'm just wondering, I feel like there's a function, a vim function for this.
And we're doing all of this to encapsulate this Tinkeray PHP file within.
Yeah, essentially like so when you were to set up, if when we tell someone to set up a Docker command, they shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah.
Instead, they'll just set a flag. So it's simpler for them to set a flag equals 1
Right.
than it is for them to have to like copy this big long thing out that's going to be the same for everyone. This is not going to be, at this point, it's not the same for everyone. Now this is like depending on whatever.
So this run, so I would say maybe instead of run from storage, maybe like Laravel sail or something.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is like nothing about this tinker command is sail specific.
Yeah.
You're making it sail specific, right? So like, what if you're using, just as an example, like I don't know what's out there right now, but what if there's another Docker utility that's like sail but made by guys in the Rails community or something? I don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I know this is PHP we're talking, but let's just say there's another sail utility that someone likes better than sail, right? Then they should be able to use this. And here's the thing: is this here? Yeah, this here is just customizing the command, and then some environments, so sail being one of these environments, requires that the file lives here, right?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah, like it has to be copied to storage app just for sail, but it might not for every environment. So yeah. I don't know, we can like stub this out, see how it looks. It's like add another line up here. Just copy that variable that we created. Right, and then maybe just if you want to see what this looks like duplicate this, just comment it out, and then remove that copy so you can see. Like this is what we might be putting in the README, right?
But where are we actually moving that copy to? Because we didn't run it, or
Yeah, we haven't done that yet, but
yeah.
We're gonna do that.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm just saying, like, say, like, yeah, like, move this down here for a second. Like, how do you feel about that? So you like, let's say you look at the Tinkerwell README, and you go to the Docker section, and it says if you want to set up Docker, paste these into essentially into an XRC or vimRC or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot cleaner.
And actually here, now there's not even, like, this would be the same for every project, wouldn't it?
The only thing different per project that might be different is this right here.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the name of the container. And so this is by default what you're given in Sail, and you can change it to anything you want. But I feel like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying, like, I feel like if you're going to be changing that, that you can go in there and change it. It's just at the same time, it's not going to be a system wide setting that you set it once and it works for any of the Sail containers that you have running.
Since I'm not a Sail user, so with Valet, you park on a folder or whatever, and then you can have like 10 sites hosted under Valet, and it's that folder.test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sail doing that too, or is Sail always Laravel.test?
Sail it's a little bit different. Sail is using the Docker Compose file.
So if you want multiple sites, you have to go into the Docker Compose, basically.
So it's different because you're not like it's not multiple sites. It's like it's groupings of containers. So like if I were to open up my doc wrap, it would actually shows it a little bit better. So this is the Laravel clean app that I have going, and within that there's this app container. There's an app container. There's a MySQL container and a Redis container, all running within that one Docker Compose file. So when I do sail up, all three of them get booted up. When I do sail down, all three of them get taken down. Now let's say I go into another directory, that's jose.com, and now you're going to see another drop down here for jose.com, and each one of them, that's going to be a whole nother set of containers: MySQL, the app, Redis, whatever else I enable in my Docker Compose, that I can do a sail up, sail down, completely different directory. But you see here where it says Laravel.test. So Laravel clean is the directory that it's in, and then Laravel.test is like the name that we give the app right here in our YAML file. So if I were to change this to something else, it would show up here as Laravel clean jose.test.
Right.
But this right here is the anchor point for Docker Compose commands that we send to those containers. That's how we tell Docker Compose to send it to that particular container.
But I guess so I think I'm getting close here. So in this, if we were to look at this app here again, if you've got Laravel clean and you've got jose.com, I understand that they're separate containers. If you sail up on this one and you sail up on this one, you can access them both in the browser with this at the same time.
As long as they're running on different ports.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is it? Do you think most Sail users are like sail down and then they switch to the other site, sail up?
Exactly.
Okay. So then back to our file over here. Then this is a pretty safe default then to just throw on the README.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so this is pretty cool then, right? Because then they don't really have to edit very much. Like, essentially, anybody should be able to copy these two lines into their config if they're a Sail user, and that doesn't even have to be an XRC at this point because it's not even app specific. Like this is generic to Sail, right?
Right.
So this could go right into your dot files if you're a Sail user, and if you're not a Sail user and you're a Valet user, you don't need it.
And if let's say there was a jose.test directory, I could create an XRC file and throw these in there with that modified, right?
Yeah.
And that would work.
So we could so now I'm kind of coming around to what you're saying. I like this. I don't want to change this, but I would be okay with having sugar around this, right?
Around what? Sorry, I don't see the.
Oh, you don't.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I probably need to let go. I like these as low level as they are. So that way, if someone's not using Sail, they have the ability to control individual like functionalities. But because Sail is the thing we're documenting, I'm okay with wrapping this in essentially like a function that they can run that's like enable Sail or something. You know what I mean? And what that will do is set these for them.
Where would that function be defined?
So we can throw it like in this auto load file, right? So there's the functions there. Yeah, Tinkerwell run, keep going down.
Hold on. So we still haven't done the copy one, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah. Tinkerwell open. Yeah, keep going.
Create
stub. Register auto commands. That's fine. Keep going. So let's add another function here underneath.
So like copy this?
Sure. Yeah. So I would say
set sail variables or set sail. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Set sail.
I
don't know. You come up with the name. I'll leave that in your hands.
Yeah, I'm not too picky on it right now. Yeah, set sail, sure. And then yeah. And we can even make this take an optional argument. We'll do this later, but or another day or something. But essentially, if they want to like customize this Laravel.test for whatever reason, it could be done by passing in a string, Laravel.test or Jose.test or whatever, right? But yeah, so this you'd want to set.
Do you want to take remote control of this? You can request it in the Zoom.
Oh, does Zoom let you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. How do I do that?
Do you see the toolbar that's saying like our screen share? There should be a little like almost like a little drop down, and it should say like request remote control.
Share screen, chat, participants, view options. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Hang on. Oh man, sorry. Are you able to type in there?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh.
I mean, you'll have to use my key bindings, but just use vanilla Vim.
Yeah, so I guess we don't need this. It's a little slow, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, we don't need any of this, I guess. Yeah, how do I get over to your other TMUX?
Oh, yeah.
Let's copy those from your stuff in your activity there. Yeah. Actually, if you want, you can paste it right into that function. That's literally all we need to do. For now, yeah. So if they call that, right? So now if you want to try that, actually, in your XRC there, run like you would call. You have to type call.
Like this call?
Yeah, you can do it in your XRC though. Instead of let. Yeah, exactly. It's probably better to do it. It's kind of sluggish anyway.
Is it like this? Set sail?
Yep.
Do I have to add the parens?
Yep.
And comment these out?
Yep. So let's see, what do we get when you save that Tinkerwell?
Let me close all this. And let's see, what do we have? We did need to add this, right? Because now we're another directory deeper.
Yep.
Okay. So now let's open up Tinkeray and save. Nothing to output.
That works, right?
No.
Oh, it didn't?
It's saying nothing to output. So let's see. Call Tinkeray set sail.
So if you want, do you have to? Yeah, that should be fine. If you from your Vim on the right, echo one of those variables.
Oh, here?
Yeah, they're not there. I mean, sorry, like colon, command it. Colon to start a new command. Yeah, echo G colon. Tinker command or something. Oh yeah, that's fine. I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Undefined variable. There we go.
Okay.
I had to close the Vim session.
Yeah.
But save. Again, nothing.
So yeah, we changed the path to storage/app. Did we forget something somewhere? Is it in actually? Is it in storage/app right now? You know how you originally copied it?
It's not.
No. Okay. I don't think we copied it. We ripped
the
copy of.
We didn't write the copy command.
The Vim function to copy.
Said we'd get back to it.
You know what? I feel like there's a way to do this. I just forget what's the best practices. Let's do like a silent exec, like you were doing there, and then you can just CP it for now, and then I can always refactor this later if I want.
Yep. So I'm just gonna write that.
Yeah, like I think there is a Vim way of doing this. I'm not seeing it when I search help. So
is it just it's just silent exec, and then in parentheses.
Make sure you prefix with that exclamation is all, and then it technically should be fine.
Okay.
Okay. And am I right? That's slower because it's in sale. Yeah.
I mean, it's not terribly slow, but like, let's say if I'm going to hit save and then start tapping JK, which should, move my mouse or my cursor around. Save. And see, I can't move. That's
blocking. You just want async so that you don't have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we can work on that later, but this is fantastic. It's exactly what I need.
Okay. So your app path is already dynamic there. See that?
Yes. So app
grab that
path is going to be
exactly. Oh,
I mean here here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. And I forget. I think you're gonna have to put a slash before storage there. I think.
App path and then / vendor. App path, / storage, and the concatenation.
Concatenation. You're right. Go back to that concatenation though. I'll show you a little trick here. So, see how you put that space right here? Sorry, right here, and then the dot. Remove the space and remove the dot because Vim's concatenation is like really funky. Basically, how it works is if you have a dot, it butts it up, and if there isn't a dot, it basically adds the space for you.
Oh, interesting.
It's just like Vimscript is weird that way, but I don't know if that's common in other languages or not.
Yeah, I would have racked my brain for that. And then storage app tinkeray.php, and then here we need the location of this um, of the plugin, right? Do we have that?
Oh yes, yes. That's go up. There's already a plugin path already as well.
Hold on.
Variable.
Where is it?
It's like right by the app path one. Keep going. There it is.
Plugin path. Oh, okay, there it is.
Yep.
So that's gonna be here.
I believe right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be. Wait.
Yep.
With the space or without a space?
I don't know if it matters, but I always do with.
Okay. And then concatenate bin. Okay.
So actually, before you do this, if you go back to that silent exec and change that, I do this all the time when I'm developing Vim plugin stuff. I'll just change this to an echo briefly. And then you'll see it at the bottom of your Vim instance for when that runs. It's not ready.
I wonder, is it, oh, there it is.
So if you want to look at that again, just double check the path that it looks right to you.
I guess it just took a second. Oh, I have to save it. That's why.
Yeah.
User Jose code. Jose can help. vim-tinkeray. bin. tinkeray.php. Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So if that looks good, then change that back to a silent exec, and I would think that should actually, maybe if you want, go and delete that. Remember you had copied it before, so delete it from storage app. If it exists, right? You know what I mean?
Here, delete it, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. You might as well delete, not that it matters, but you might as well delete this one too.
There it is.
Sick. So there's I guess that's all we really need to, aside from async, because I think async would be really cool. But I think that's sail.
That's, yeah. I mean, that's the gist of it. I like it. I really like it. Cool.
So you saw here, you this line here, just to explain what I was thinking. I've been using this whole Tinkeray thing in my files for like 6 months or more, right? Mm-hmm. I just haven't turned it into a plugin until now.
Right.
And you can see where I ripped it out of my dot files. And so when I didn't quite structure it exactly like this, but I had like a local Tinkeray open function. It didn't read like this because it wasn't in an autoload folder, but and what I would do is as soon as I opened up that Tinkeray file, it would automatically run on open. Like, you know how when you were over here and you're like, oh wait, I have to save it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I intentionally commented this out for you because I'm like, if it's blocking, you don't want to open the file and then be blocked.
And be blocked right away. Yeah, I noticed that for sure.
But I do want the async. So that way, once we get the async working, I think NeoVim has an async API, and Vim 8 might actually too. I'm not sure, but there's like NeoVim has a jobs API. So if we can get that running, then we will run it on open, and it won't block your editor.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you open that file, you'll see output.
Yeah, that when I first copied the stuff from your repo to mine, I noticed that whenever I'd open the file, it would run it. And I think that was one of the reasons why I started to implement the async stuff, and I implemented it, and it worked great. But it would be nice not to have that extra dependency for the async run.
Yeah, I was looking at the docs a little bit. I didn't quite get it, but I was going to look into Telescope again because Telescope's doing async stuff all over the place. So I think I would be able to just see like a real world use case of how they're using it, and then we can just copy that. So,
well, sweet, man. This is super exciting. I really, really like this.
Yeah, I guess if you want to, the only other thing I would maybe add real quick is yeah, I have an idea to change real quick. If you go into that auto load, or no, go into the wrapper file that we were working in.
The okay, so in
Oh, maybe this isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work.
this, I'm assuming this is the one.
Yep. I'm just thinking about this line right here. I was actually, okay, what my idea was, I don't think it's gonna work. I'm just realizing we're dealing with two different files here. I was going to like wrap, basically have like a ternary here. So if, think like app path equals, it would basically be like if run, you know, we had that run from storage variable, right? If it's true, then question mark this, otherwise this. But we don't have that variable in here, so I guess we can't do that. So maybe the best thing is let's just write a comment just so that future us knows. So like essentially just say use explicit app path or fall back to storage/app. Yeah.
Do you have a preference to the comment style, if it's like this or?
Yeah, sweet. I guess you could even say storage/app for like Docker environments, etc., or something, just so that it's like super clear why we're doing the dot thing. That's all. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want to, I don't know what there is to clean up, but if you want to PR it, I think this is pretty sweet.
Do you know how would I? Because man, I should have been working off of my own repository. This was a.
Well, you can just change the remote.
The remote,
right?
yeah. Okay, I'll do that right now.
I really like how vimplug does this, where you can just basically work from a local repo.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I really like that.
Like the worst thing about Vim dev is depending on what you're doing, you feel like you're constantly restarting Vim for certain changes, right? But it's not too bad. Sweet.
All right, so we got.
Yeah, we got the variable. Got that card.
Set sail.
Set sail was just the sugar for setting. We got that echo handling. Yeah. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I know like Tinkerwell does quite a bit more, right? But in certain ways, I'm actually curious. I haven't talked to Marcel about it or anything, but I was looking at their documentation. They have like HTTP mode and all this stuff, and there's a bunch of they have a bunch of modes for all this really cool stuff. But a bunch of it's being deprecated though.
Oh, is it?
So maybe it just doesn't want to support it anymore, or maybe there's been problems, or I don't know what. But when you look at the docs, there's a couple modes that are just deprecated for the next version.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff you could do, like even the share
Yeah. And
snippets.
actually,
Like,
what started me down this road, and in defense of these guys, so like, you know how there's like a Tinkerwell issues or Tinkerwell suggestions repo or something, I can't remember. I think there's like an issues repo somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty clean.
yeah, I like it.
So you know how there's like a Tinkerwell like issues repo and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in Tinkerwell, have you ever used the watch file mode?
I've only after you mentioned it, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of cool because like the idea would be that, and this was my idea, that I would have Tinkerwell open here, and I would in Vim I would edit a file, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, every time it saves that file, there's a watch. Tinkerwell watches it, right? So it would kind of accomplish a similar thing to this, except like plus and minus certain features like profiling and stuff. I'm not sure what he has available there, but the problem I was having was it wasn't working for me. And I thought like, oh, I just thought the thing was broken. And so I submitted an issue, and one of the other guys, I forget what his name was, beyond code there, he replied and just said like, he can't reproduce it. It works fine. And I was talking to someone else, another friend who uses Tinkerwell and Vim. And I said, hey, can you try this watch file thing? And he's like, yeah. So he tried it and it worked fine. So then I thought maybe I'm out of date, right? So, you know, I brew updated, and then I thought maybe the brew repository is out of date. So I just completely brew uninstalled, and I installed it properly. And I have tried everything, and I can't get the watch file thing to work on my system. And so,
yeah, I mean, I tried it. I couldn't. It didn't work for me, but I also didn't try for very long.
So like since about 6 months ago or so, I kept using Tinkerwell just outside of Vim, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know he actually has a bit of a Vim mode where you can like enable basic Vim movement, which that's pretty.
By the way, I freaking love that so much.
So nice. So, but I think the thing for me was wanting my autocomplete. Like I have, you know, LSP and autocomplete and snippets and Vim hotkeys and all this stuff that's all custom. I mean, especially the autocomplete and just like some of my snippets and stuff, right, is huge for me. So whereas when you're just in a basic Vim mode, that's awesome. But I'm like, how cool would it be to just be in here watching file? Like
Seriously.
I should be able to do. And I don't think it's their app. Like I'm assuming there's some state issue on my machine. I don't really know, but anyway, long story short, like 6 months ago, you know, so Jason Varga and I were talking about how like both of us have Ray open like literally all day long, and it's just a skinny little bar at the side of our like ultra wide screen, right? But yeah, we're both using Ray like all the time, and so I just thought, you know, if Ray's already open, can I just dump to that, right? And so yeah, I ended up it's just started with like 2 little Vim functions in my VimRC, and I ran with that for like 6 months, and then after talking to you, yeah, like let's make this the thing, right?
I like it.
So yeah, so it's funny because this functionality technically kind of exists in Tinkerwell anyway, right? But the other thing that I really like about this versus the watch file thing is you would still have to switch out to Tinkerwell. You'd still have to enable watch file and point it to a file every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back into Vim and you edit that file. But then when you switch projects, let's say you switch to another project, because I know that a lot of people are just running in one project, but for me, I'm working in Statamic. I also have a sandbox open. Sometimes I'm working on like a plugin. So I've got sometimes like 3 repos that I might be dumping from. So I don't want to have to keep changing that file that I'm watching from app to app to app. The idea for me is I just want to open tinkeray.php, and this doesn't care what app you're in. This just listens for calls.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what app you're in. So yeah, it's getting all the Vim functionality, like, you know, my snippets and everything. So that's a little bit luxurious. But then also just the fact that I don't have to keep messing with watch file, even if it was working in my environment, right? So yeah, that was sort of the thought process behind it all. But
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I
and
really
like
like it.
for and then yeah, before I showed you, like I literally in my like I stubbed out a array call at the end. So
Yeah.
my final, whereas like, and then we switched to the return, and then you've like
And then I said
improved
F
that, yeah,
that.
yeah. Which
No,
this
it's
is really, this is clean, so I like it.
very happy with it. Hopefully, the rest of our Vim Discord group will enjoy it as well.
Yeah, this is cool.
Well,
Okay,
cool,
man.
man. Yeah, this was fantastic. Let's get together again soon and hack on some more stuff.
Yeah, this is fun.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
Great. Have a good night.
Peace.